Alrighty then, and welcome everyone to the much anticipated, not too long overdue session 3 of our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition adventure entitled Out of the Darkness. Joining me today are 4 interesting, eclectic vampires, dare I say. Some of the most interesting eclectic vampires I've ever had the displeasure, the bloody good time of playing with. That's what we'll say. The bloody good time of playing with. And as is tradition, we're just going to go around the table, have everyone quickly introduce themselves, and then we're going to dive right into the action. And as I discussed with the players, we've really set the stage for what is to be transpiring. They know where all the pieces are. They do not know how they fit together. And my hope is that they will really drive the narrative forward today based on their actions and questions and things that they do. But let's go around the table. Let's go Jamie, Stefan, Harry, and Steve. Jamie, take it away.
Cool. My name's Jamie, and I'm playing Peter Robertus, the Sinister landlord.
Hello, I'm Steven, and I'm playing Adam Berford, the caitiff.
I'm Harry. I'm playing the Tremere Theodore Dashwood, recently recovered from the poor choice of cuisine.
And I'm Steve. I'm playing Bertie Manteldrat. He has some friends. They might be cats, they might be people, they might even be kindred. He's not quite sure. They definitely know some things, and they're not telling him everything. Or are they?
Could they be cat people?
Cat people.
That's what I assumed a caitiff was the first time I read it written down. I was like, there's cat people.
It's a cat guy, you know.
Yeah.
You guys are really funny. So when we last left off for Intrepid Adventurers, as you mentioned, Theodore, you had recovered. And so we cut to a scene of you writing in your personal journal, or perhaps dictating to one of your cult followers to write for you a delightful recap of the events that transpired last session. And yes, I'm putting that onus on you. Good luck, and may Lilith have mercy on your soul.
It should definitely be the surviving brother that I'm dictating my notes to.
Oh, absolutely. He's just like...
Randy's brother. Was it Randall?
Randy and
I think it's funnier that you don't remember. Like, that's like in character and out of character. Go ahead.
You boy, take note.
He's dead.
We had a terribly troublesome day yesterday. I had it's been quite a while now since I drank the black blood. Fully recovered now. Had to drain poor old Randy. But I'm feeling much better. A pension's being passed on to his wife and children, so that's fine. Nothing to stop blubbering.
But he can't bring him back.
Nope, that was never part of the deal. So anyway, there was a lot of threads unwound. Adam disappeared at one point. I think he's gone off to the club. My prescient senses make me think there may be werewolves involved in that. I wasn't there, though, so I couldn't comment. Had a fantastic dream involving the lady in the lift. Apparently we're one and the same person now, and I'm only partly a vampire. Or maybe I'm entirely a vampire. Possibly entirely human, but I've definitely got a reflection, so that's great. And I'm pretty sure Birdie got his pen back. All in all, actually, on reflection, it was a bloody good day. And that's how I remember last
10
week's
out of
session.
10, man. That was fantastic. That goes all the way. That was like one of the best recaps that I've seen in recent history. That was bloody brilliant, man. Absolutely
much.
bloody brilliant. Well played.
But you
So
can never read it back because the tears are just
it
making all
just
of the
smeared
ink run.
ink. Just it's all runny. It's like when you like get water on the freshly written like piece of paper with pen and it just bleeds everywhere. It's a lot of like it's like the whole part with the werewolves is all blotted out. So which makes sense in game and out of game since you weren't there. But I'm going to defer to the players. I'm going to defer to the players. So we know we have a lot of pieces, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of different threads to start to pull out our blood trails, if we have mentioned. Where would you guys like to start? Where do you feel would make the most sense for you guys to sort of pick up at? We've got Adam over walking into the club. We've got Bertie with his weird, it's all connected board. We've got Theo being Theo and having weird dreams about bloody women in elevators, and then Peter getting his carpet replaced. So
I'd
fill me in.
if it's I'd like to open with straight after Theo dictating his notes to one of his clan, one of his plebs,
Tips.
and just kind of going to his apartment door and just kind of letting himself in with a bit of a quizzical look on his face, going, "The cat's accusing me of spying. I'm not spying on anybody, Theo. Tell the cat that I'm not spying on anybody."
Which
From
cat?
between Bertie's legs, you see a white, fluffy cat, and it looks at you and just goes, meow.
Now listen here, you little bastard. Birdie's a good man, and he's definitely not spying.
Hisses at you, and then scurries off down the hallway.
I'll chuck something. Whatever's nearby.
How hard? Because you can murder that cat. Remember, you are a vampire.
Just to make it scat. Like, I'm not
Okay.
trying to squelch it.
Are you throwing a stapler at it? Like, what are we?
Oh,
what are
God,
we doing
no.
here? Okay,
We're not,
I mean,
we're not going
that would
DEFCON 1
completely
on it.
splatter it. Unfortunately, we don't want to see that. Like, that would be bad. That would be
Just some
very
random
bad.
pocket lint of some sort.
Okay.
Blackboard eraser.
I like that. So, Bertie, you've arrived in Theodore's suite, as it were, his room. You can see that he has just finished dictating. You can see the young man who is trying to hold back tears, writing in the journal. And Bertie, you've just asked him for help with the cat. The cat has scurried away. What next, my friends?
Thanks, Theo. Ooh, you've got a notebook too. And he'll like wander over and go, "What's in your notebook?" "I've got loads of things in my notebook," and try and compare notes. And go, yours is terrible. Why is it all smudged? Shouldn't be smudged. You should definitely not have a smudged notebook. Theo,
Bloody hell, Randall.
I found out loads of things. Turns out this Chloe is in fact adopted, Adopted. Fairchild is her actual surname, however. Mother Velma's dead.
Right. And? Any idea why she's got this delicious, although infuriating blood?
No, but it's very interesting, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose it is. Randall, stick the journal with the other ones. I suppose they're canon now. My entire life has been dictated into books by cultists. And you can replace it on this just wall that's just hundreds and hundreds
This huge
of journals.
wall of just like, day 365 of year 20, like just the anthology of your life right there. I like it. Very good.
Had you picked up anything else interesting about this young woman? Any other clues as to where she's come from?
Well, she was arguing with somebody.
How do you mean? When? Where?
In her apartment. I wasn't spying.
The plot thickens. I think if we want to know why her blood's as fucked up as it is, we probably need to find out about her lineage. Peter seems like the kind of man that could put feelers into that sort of area. How's your clue board going? I know you like to have a clue board going.
He'll look like really sheepish. I don't have. fine. I definitely have a clue board.
Right. Well, I'll grab some string, you grab Peter, and I'll meet you back at the clue board.
Yes. And he'll like turn around and sort of run away and put a notebook in his pocket and then pull out a larger notebook, a serious notebook.
The big
Yeah,
word
that one's playtime notebook. This is the shit's getting real notebook. I love it. I love it. So the two of you head off. Theodore, you go and grab Peter, I assume, and Peter, I would assume you would go with them as well, and then head back to Bertie's. Bertie, I'd like to take a moment. How in depth and how intense is this board that you have? Like, how big is it? So you got like a 10-foot wide wall. How much space does it take up?
So imagine it's the entire wall has just been like slapdashed paint, like matte white, with some random, with a tin of paint that was half left around the corner and next to the bins. It's like, oh well, that's white, that'll do. And it's painted the whole wall, but not right into the corners, not well painted at all. And it's got a picture of Chloe, sort of just off center. It will have a scrawled piece of paper in the center just saying the Underground Club, and a picture of the stone tablet, and like a fairly typical sort of old-timey detectives board with red string connecting various stuff.
Like
and
a cork board and like all that other stuff. I like.
Yeah,
it.
except it's pins directly into the wall.
Yeah.
And it'll have stuff like Randy Calhoun written on a piece of paper and a picture of the cat up in the top corner and a big question mark next to the cat, and just a picture of and everything that he's possibly known about since coming to live in this apartment. Like the dead victim that was discovered a few months later and not paying rent, and the old woman that complains about the lift being broken. Everything is covered on there, and there's stuff underneath everything else.
Like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So you have the board before you. Did you, gentlemen?
Peter and Theo, have they walked in, or?
Yes.
Oh, I went to get Peter.
I got Peter apparently.
Everyone is
you got
together in the same room, standing before the cork board.
I brought you some extra twine, and I'll chuck a big red ball of string across to you.
He'll try and catch it with one hand, but has got a pencil and notebook and is reluctant to catch it and drop the other thing. So he'll just let it sort of grab it and, oh, fantastic, and then drop it lightly onto the floor. So Chloe was turned about 3 to 4 months ago in the underground nightclub, well, just outside the nightclub. Doesn't know who her sire is, and has had no contact with them. Doesn't know why she was turned. Is not really liking it for some reason, but she's having arguments with people. I don't know who. She was adopted. Fairchild's her actual birth name, however. Her adopted parents flicks through the notebook. I didn't actually write down who that was. Did they have a name canon-wise?
Right, or something like that.
We didn't give a name canon-wise.
Oh,
Say Velma.
No, Velma is her mum's maiden, first name.
Ah.
You know what? Smith. Her name was Smith. And as you... Yeah, I'm going to see if you do a little more digging on that. The name was Smith. Velma Smith.
So yeah, Velma is her mother's name, who probably an Alex, not sure why. Might dig into that later. Have some ideas. Not sure where they're going to lead though. Had an argument. I think it was with her parents. And whatever it was, she didn't mean to do it. She knows Rodney Calhoun. Can't remember which Rodney Calhoun though. There's some sort of connection to the underground club that we don't know about, and we'll kind of ramble on and on until somebody interjects about, and then we'll go off on tangents and come back to things that you recognise, like the black blood. It smells like coffee and seems to invoke blood frenzy.
Does anyone else know anything else about Does anybody else know anything about the broad that's haunting the lift?
Not a clue. Oh yeah. Only start after everyone brought that fucking tablet in.
Okay, that's interesting. Would it be too much of a leap to assume that the spirit is not attached to the lift and is attached to the tablet?
Sounds plausible.
You know, I've been meaning to sample some of that blood that's been coming off the tablet. You can learn a lot of interesting things from drinking random pots of blood that you find lying around.
I've
As much as that
noticed.
may not have appeared to have been the case last time I tried. But honestly, I've done this successfully, honestly, several times before. Does Adam still have that? Has anyone seen Adam?
I was going to say he's usually got it on him, but not seen him.
I think he went to see his friend Gregory. Gregor.
Anyone got his number?
That's... You know, I don't think I ever think to ask that man for his phone number.
No. It's
Surely
on,
your ghoul has it.
yeah, it's on there's some contract somewhere. I can have a look in a second.
Bertie will just recite the number.
Yeah.
Because he'll just remember the number. Remember
Memory.
everybody's phone numbers. Yeah.
That makes it easier.
He's the only person that doesn't actually store people's numbers in their phone.
He just has them all memorized. What a weirdo.
Yeah.
I love it. So good.
I don't feel like I should own a mobile phone on reflection.
Peter definitely doesn't have a mobile phone.
Birdie, do you have a phone?
Bertie does. Of course. Why wouldn't
Fantastic.
Bertie have a phone?
Well, be a good chap. Give Adam a ring. See where he's gone with that tablet.
Bertie will pull out his Nokia 3210 and give him a ring.
Unflip it.
So Adam, you are just walked in to the underground club, the underground nightclub, and the music is, well, it's pumping. It is absolutely pumping, and it's pretty intense. You know, I want you to think like Blade scene from Blade 2. Just it is just crazy, just like unsas and badunka dunkas and just like strobe lights and like people just like half dressed just fawning over each other. It is intense, and you could swear, Adam, every so often you look to a corner and you think you see someone maybe feeding on somebody else. It is almost a nightmare were you not a vampire. A lot of goth people probably here thinking that vampires are cool. It's kind of got that, you know, MO where it's like, oh, it's a vampire club, and some people probably come here not knowing vampires are real, and it's a whole thing. But very loud unsas. And your phone, I'm gonna leave it up to you, Adam. Is the music too loud for you to hear your phone? Are you the type of vampire that puts his phone on vibrate so you'd feel it? I leave this up to you, sir.
Vampires in this
There's
world.
two types of vampires. The ones that leave it on ring, and the ones that understand they're going to be in weird, creepy nightclubs with loud music, so they put it on vibrate so they don't miss a phone call.
I think you would put it on vibrate.
Okay,
yeah,
so you would
like,
hear a vibrate that kind of sounds like businesses. That's what you hear and feel more or less.
Yeah.
And if you answer, look down, you see that it's Birdie calling you. You can see his number, because you're the type of
Yeah.
vampire probably that saves numbers. Seems
Yeah,
like.
yeah, I
All right.
would say it's birdies. Jesus, such a headache. God damn it. Is there like a quieter place in the club where
Absolutely
I
not.
could actually pick up the phone?
Maybe the
Okay.
bathroom, maybe, but it's still
You can-
pretty loud.
You can
So
ask the
instead
DJ
of,
really
like-
nicely.
Go ahead.
You can ask the DJ really nicely. Maybe they'll turn it down a scooch.
Yeah, be like, hey, can you just turn it down a little bit? I gotta make a phone call really quick.
Yeah,
So if you go to the club, instead of unsa, it's unsa kind of thing is what you're hearing. Slightly muffled, but still very loud. And in fact, the doors of each of the stalls kind of rattle. every so often.
Jesus
Just a little
Christ.
bit. It's
Fucking hell.
loud. Yeah. It's welcome to mid 2000s. Or well, let's say mid 2000s America
Must
nightclub
be
scene. It was
crazy,
intense.
Jesus.
Yeah. Back
2004, man.
it was a wild time. It was a wild time.
Okay.
So while you're
yeah.
RPing, I'm just gonna be over here.
Okay. I'm gonna answer Bernie's phone. The ring. Morning, Mr. Birdie. How you doing? As he can probably hear the in the background too, right?
Yeah. Oh, hey Adam. Oh, did you go to Gregor's club?
It's Gustav, and no, I've
Gustav,
gotten the
damn it.
location.
It was
I got
Gustav's
the
club.
Oh right, yeah, not Gregor's club.
No, it was Gustav.
Right, right.
I'm in the underground club. I found the location of it. It's on Logan Square, most likely north of here.
He went to the underground club. It's on Logan Square, just off I-19.
He's underground. Tell him to come up above.
It's the club.
He says it's the club, not the actual underground.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of was sort of forced down here.
Oh yeah, you have the underground in the UK.
Yeah, you probably do, Mr. Bertie, but...
Ask him if he's got the slab.
No, my car got tampered with. If you can please remove the C4 under it, I would really appreciate it.
He says he has a Citroen C4 on his car or something. I can't really hear because of the music.
Yeah, probably like a traffic thing. There's loads of double parking around here.
Yeah, I had to take the bus. The tablet is... I left it in the apartment.
He says he's left his tablets in the apartment, so he went on the bus.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
I was sort of forced to go here. I didn't want to go. However, there were two werewolves outside, so I had to.
Wait, you weren't following the lead? I thought
I was following the lead. I went to scout the area, but as it turns out, there were literally two werewolves on my side of the street.
Did he say werewolves?
Yes.
Yes,
Those
not normal wolves.
Screening bastards.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would really appreciate it if you would come here at your earliest convenience, because
Pick me up, I'm scared.
Adam says that we should go and help.
yes.
Okay.
please.
Did he say he left his Citroen C4 here? We could take that.
There's a C4 under my car. Do not open the door or
He
drive.
says he parked his car on top of the C4.
Well, that's bloody irresponsible. Someone call a taxi. Tell him we'll meet him soon.
We'll call a cab. We'll see you there soon.
Yes, Mr. Birdie, please. And I closed the phone. I mean, Adam has the biggest headache in the world and currently questions his choices.
Oh man, that's fucking fantastic. That is fucking fantastic.
Oh, Jesus.
Peter, did you hear Adam's got himself surrounded by werewolves?
Yeah.
I don't suppose you keep anything for the slaying of those shits?
I don't, but I wonder who that area belongs to. If it's Sabat, I can maybe rustle up a couple of guys to move them along.
That could certainly be handy. I've got a silver sword back in my room, but personally I'd rather not deal with those shits.
Yeah. Yeah, let me
I shall
make some
sort of
calls, see
taxi.
who owns it.
Oh.
So if I understand correctly, those back at the Long Life Apartments are calling a taxi. You guys will be chauffeuring yourselves over there, as it were. Carring
Yes.
yourselves, not exploding yourselves, since you won't be taking Steven's car, which makes sense. Adam's car, excuse me. You mentioned, Jamie, that you might be able to rustle up, and you wanted to figure out who it belonged to. Correct?
Yeah.
I think we should make a roll for that. I think we should
Cool.
make a roll to determine whether or not you are aware of who owns that area. And I would say this feels like a streetwise, maybe, or investigation.
Politics?
Politics could work. Yeah. Politics. Let's do politics. That makes sense. So you're
Politics
sort of a little
with-
higher up. I get that. You own a building. Yeah.
With intelligence?
Yep.
Cool. Let's open up all the correct windows.
And the difficulty on this will be. Wait, oh my god, I have too many systems I've been playing. I set the difficulty, right? I literally just had a brain fart. I just played Deadlands the other day, and it's just you have to get a 4. Anyway, I digress. Neither here nor there. I was just like, "Ugh." But yes. So the difficulty on this, not too hard. Difficulty 1, super easy.
Fingers crossed.
I think you got it. I think you got it. Yeah, you know everyone that owns that area and their kin and their kin and what their taxes are. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So you actually know that the area is owned by a lower-ranking sheriff by the name of Duncan, 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 and he is indeed a Sabbat. He is indeed a Sabbat. What you also know, though, I mean, just simply by the fact that you rolled so many successes, is there are rumors in that particular area that Duncan, or at least some that work for Duncan, have been dealing with, and not dealing with, but dealing with some other species and other creatures of the night that maybe are frowned upon. There's rumors. None of them are verified. None of them are guaranteed. And those that kind of bring these up in public end up disappearing, kind of thing. But it's kind of one of those things that people know, but they don't talk about it. Make sense?
Cool. I'm going to lean on my status, my high status with Sabat, to tell him we're coming, and I'll just slip in that one of my guys said it was menaced by a couple of werewolves. Now I don't think that's gonna be true, but I don't want to run into any werewolves in Sabat territory. Doesn't set a good look.
So would you be calling Duncan directly?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Based on your contacts, do you think you've dealt with him before? You spoken to him directly?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. How was your last interaction? I want you to tell me how it was.
I think I got a messy critical, so I think I'm gonna make my life harder.
Yeah. That's what that's what I was seeing. That's what I was seeing. If I am not mistaken, that was a messy critical.
So I think that when we last had a discussion, I chewed him out down the phone.
Like that. I like that. So as you make the phone call, you get his secretary. You wait for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, 5 minutes. She comes back on and says, he's really in the middle of something. Sorry, he's really in the middle of something. Can I take a message and leave it for him, or can you wait?
I'm going to lean on my status and my kind of grasp of Sabat politics to impress upon her the need for me to talk to him. I don't give a shit what he's doing.
Well, you understand, young man, that I'm just a secretary, all right? I'm just the messenger. Don't bite the messenger. That's a vampire joke. Anyway, all right. I'll be right back. And then she turns, sets the phone down. You actually, this time she sets the phone down, and you hear her, walk over. And she's like, Mr. Duncan, What is it? He's pressing upon the importance of his Sapat status, that he really needs to speak to you. I understand that he says he really needs to speak with me, but he's an asshole, and I don't wish to speak with him. Sir, I really think you should take this very well. And then you hear a tuk 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 tuk. This is Sheriff Duncan. How can I help you?
Duncan, it's Peter.
Hello, Peter.
I'm bringing a few guys down into your territory. Go visit. There's a club in the area I'm going to. I've heard word from one of my guys. There's a couple of werewolves prowling around. That looks pretty shit for us about, doesn't it?
He does not hide the fact that you are annoying him at all. And to give you an idea of what Duncan looks like, Duncan is a maybe late 20-year-old presenting man. He always has a constant 5 o'clock shadow. He's got black hair and wears this teal, like, kind of crystal diamond, like, around his neck. That is apparently like an old family heirloom. He is, he's a couple hundred years old. He's been around for a while, right? And he pauses, and you can, even though you're not seeing him, you can hear him mulling this over. What do you think I could do? That is to say, why do you think I would know anything about potential werewolves in my territory?
Well, because they're in your territory. One of my lads just spotted it. And it's your territory, mate. You're responsible for security. That's why you've got this fucking shit.
Have you personally,
listen, if you can't deal with a couple of fucking wolves, I can talk to people above us and they can deal with it. And that's going to look great for you, isn't it?
Jamie, I can see how important this matter is to you. And out of a respect for both our statuses, I will send some of my men to look into it. But I would also encourage you to not call me at odd hours of the evening unless you have verified facts of werewolves. Unless you yourself laid eyes upon them, I would question the validity of your statement, your man's eyesight. With that being said, for pop and circumstance, I will send some out. Out of curiosity, Jamie, what club are you heading to?
I mean, first off, I don't know who the fuck this Jamie character is. I'm Peter.
Peter, sorry. I
I
get
need to-
confused because you sound like a friend of mine who lives in Britain.
Right.
Peter, forgive me.
Is he the underground
Version
club?
ruined. Well, good night, everybody. Peter. Yes, you stupid vampire asshole. No, but underground nightclub. There is a notable shift in his somewhat lowered voice, very almost stoic kind of tone. And what business would you have at the underground nightclub, Peter?
My own business.
Who sounds like Jamie?
It's my own business, Duncan.
You see, here is where we begin to run into a bit of a problem with what you stated, Peter. Your business seems to be taking place in my territory that it is my responsibility to protect. So I should, based on your statement, Peter, have a right to know what you plan to do. If it was to disrupt the peace of my territory, well, that would be a problem.
Bertie will kind of thrust a scrap of paper that he's just scribbled on and thrust it under Peter's nose, and it just says, "Tell him we've gone to save Adam."
Peter, who looks like Jamie? Just to make sure that I have the right Peter. Okay, perfect. All right, good.
Yeah, that's the
All right,
one.
good.
And my man has taken refuge in this club, he says. I'm just getting him out.
To
No
be
disturbing the
clear,
peace, nothing.
your plan is to enter the club, retrieve your man, and leave.
That is, Duncan.
Make it quick. Don't make a fuss of it. Are we understood?
There we are. Thank you very much. And I'm going to immediately kind of
Like,
phone back on the hook.
on the other side, you see him turn to his secretary, and he goes, he calls again, I'm out of country. And then he just walks back. Yeah, I like that. Good, 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 good. What did your piece of paper state, Bertie? You slid him a piece of paper. What did it say?
Tell him that we've gone to save Adam.
Oh,
We've
okay.
got to save Adam.
Gotta save Adam. I like it. All right, perfect. All right, so unless you guys have anything else to do, you guys will be getting into the taxi, heading to the underground nightclub. At the same time, Adam, you are in the underground nightclub. What are you doing?
Sorry, just before we set off, can
Yeah.
I get my ceremonial werewolf hunting outfit on?
I mean, I sort of assumed that you already had gotten it on.
Oh, grand.
Yeah,
Grand.
I mean,
Kush.
like you got like, you know, like full leather black, you know, nipple rings. It's a whole thing. It's great. Silver ones.
Top hat.
Yeah, top hat. Yeah, it's great.
I was thinking more ruffs.
Oh, you know what? You know what? We each have our own headcanon. It's fine. You know, it's a role playing game. We're imagining. I'm kidding. So let's press on. So the three of you prepare. You grab your ceremonial werewolf hunting gear. You get yourselves set up, and you head off. You get into the cab and head off. But Adam, you're at the club by yourself. What is the battle plan? What are you doing? You're currently in the bathroom. You finished your call with Bertie and the others. What's the battle plan?
I guess I'm getting out, and I want to get like a good look on. I'm just gonna try to go through the club to see if I spot
So,
any.
I want you to imagine the bathrooms themselves. As you walk in the front door, there's like a hole, and then it turns left. There's a little coat area. You can put your coats and purses and whatnot. And then you turn, and it opens into just a wide. I want you to imagine just a huge warehouse. I'm talking. It's probably got 60-foot high ceilings, exposed rafters, metal roof. When it rains, it's probably very loud. There are speakers, there's strobe lights everywhere, and it's just this huge football sized, like, just huge area. And it is just full, wall to wall. There are 3 different bars that people can go to, situated around, 3 bars, and then at the far back, where you actually can see, because the bathrooms are right by the entrance, the far back you can see the stage with this DJ, and it's pumping just constant, like, dubstep style, like, you know, pre-dubstep, I suppose you should say. No, it was dubstep was around back then. Like kind of dubstep style, just music, and everyone's just gyrating, undulating. It's just crazy. As you scan everything that's happening around you, again, the big thing that stands out to you is that you look over at a bar, you'll see someone like leaning in, and like it almost looks like they're kissing someone's neck, but you can tell based on the angle and the kind of the drooping, someone's probably being fed upon. You can see that there are some people with drinks. You can smell the soda. You can smell the alcohol, but other drinks you can smell that look red. Probably just blood, straight up blood. So it is a interesting situation happening right now. Interesting situation. Where would you like to go? So imagine you're standing sort of near the entrance, just come out of the bathroom, and you have this huge area. There are 3. The main areas are the stage. There are 3 bars. Where would you like to go, Adam? What are you looking for, and where would you like to go?
Because I'll probably go in towards the bars, because that seems to be the more active area of the, or not active like in the people dancing, of course.
Yep.
Just,
so there are 3 bars. All right. The closest bar to you seems to be surrounded by mostly like super goth looking people. And when I say super goth, I mean like black lipstick, dark eyeshadow, all black hair, you know, chains. They look like posers, honestly. They kind of look like posers. The other bar that's across the way from it has a mixture of the two. And then the last bar has mostly relatively elegant dressed people. And by elegant, I mean maybe they have like a dark suit and a tie, and they kind of look out of place. Which of the 3 bars would you like to go to?
The one with the suit, because I also have a suit.
I like that. So you're making your way through the crowd. As you're pushing your way through the crowd, people are undulating, jumping, bumping. You are bumped into by probably like a late, maybe like a 1920 or maybe like early 20s young man. He's got black eyeshadow on. He's actually got dark lipstick, and he's wearing like just a fishnet shirt. And he bumps into you, and he kind of gives you the eyes, like, "How you doing?" like kind of thing, and starts to kind of try to like dance up on you a little bit. How does Adam respond?
He just
Pushes
blank
past.
stares him.
Yeah, blank stares.
He doesn't really
Yeah. And he
react
begins to like ask, like, you come here often, like what's going on. He starts to kind of press and like ask who you are, and you can smell he's human.
Okay, so he is human. Okay, I'm just gonna since he is just a human, I'm probably just gonna say no, yes, or sometimes do a 3-word sentence to him.
Yeah. No, thank you. And he just looks disappointed and then undulates away from you. But you
I don't feed on them, so
fair enough. Eventually, you make your way over to that group, and just as you're about to get there, you're seeing maybe about 30 feet away from that bar area, you see a hulk of a man. And when I say a hulk of a man, this guy looks like Bjorn, right? Like, he is just enormous. Enormous? There it is. Enormous.
enormous.
And he kind of slides into your way, arms crossed. He's wearing a t-shirt that looks just a little bit too small, huge rippling muscles, and he just crosses, and he looks down at you. And where do you think you are going?
I'm going to the people there. As you can see, I'm not exactly dressed up as the other people. I want to.
Are you a guest of the owner?
Who's the owner? Yeah, well, actually, no, we don't know the owner, right?
It's Gregor, isn't it?
No, he's the guy running the place, but he's not technically the owner.
Right.
Hold on, let me check something.
I'll answer that for you. You don't actually know who owns it. You know somebody that manages it, apparently. Yeah. Birdie has 3 of them in his notebook.
Oh, yes. Mr. Calhoun.
I want to talk with the guy that runs the place.
You want to talk with someone whose name you don't even know. That's
not the guy that owns the place, that runs the place.
And what do you think his name is, Mr. Suit?
Graham.
Should have looked at the notebook.
I did, but I forgot.
Hey man, sometimes we make RP decisions and things happen.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It was Graham.
It's all good. You're gonna say Graham?
Yeah, I think that was the name.
You see this hulk of a man's eyes sort of turn lupine for a moment. They seem to yellow and become more canine in their appearance. And he growls at you. And despite the loud music and the pulsing all around you, he looks at you and he says, "It would be better for you if you were to go. He is not taking guests or meetings right now." And from behind him, you see a group of those finely dressed suits looking over at you. A couple of them have little dribbles of blood from the glasses that they're drinking out of. And you see there is a set of stairs that comes down from like an office that's like lifted up over like off to the side above that bar. You see a man walking down, and that man has black hair, stubble on his face, and a turquoise crystal around his neck. And he's walking down towards the group. And he looks super annoyed right now, like very annoyed and very frustrated as he walks down to that group of suits. As the angry man standing in front of you with his lupine eyes continues to growl, that man comes down the stairs, joins the 4 other suits that were there, and begins to have a quick conversation with them. I'll leave it up to you. What do you do after this angry, big, tall Bjorn man growls at you?
You're the owner of this place, huh? I say to the guy, I just straight up say it.
You shout at the other guy. So as you shout, it doesn't seem like he hears you. You're still about 30 feet away from it. The music is incredibly loud. The bass is pulsing. You shout, it just gets drowned out by everything. The man standing in front of you, huge, about a foot over everyone else in the crowd, pushes you back. Just shove. And it's so sudden that you stumble back maybe 2 feet. He says,
Okay.
"You will not get another warning. Leave now while you still can."
Can I sort of tell if he's stronger than me? Yeah, he is tall, but strength-wise.
That's a great question. Let me look at the skills and see what would make sense to kind of resolve whether or not he is good. So we got athletics, brawl, leadership, insight. I would say insight. Give me an insight check. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, what would be the difficulty of it?
I would say on this is a 2 difficulty.
Okay, 2.
And you'd be using, honestly, in this one, I think I would go with intelligence. Like, how smart are you to look at him and be like, I think he's stronger than me? Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, that's the full size 0, difficulty 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're not sure. You are genuinely not sure. And
the same rule as last time.
You look at him, and perhaps it's a mixture of a little bit of uncertainty. Perhaps it's just this constant drone of loud music. Maybe it's your headache. Maybe you're feeling hungry. I don't know. But you look at him and you almost feel a little intimidated. And I'm going to flavor this is that as you are kind of smelling the air around him, you can smell something that kind of smells a little bit like sweaty dog, but it's mixed with a faint smell of kindred. Just a faint smell. And it's all coming from him.
Okay. I think I know what you... I don't want to make a scene inside the club. I'll probably just wait for them and go to one of the other... Because there was a half and half bar, right?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, I'll go to the half and half.
Yeah, you head to the half and half bar. You can order yourself a drink. You actually hear one of the other kindred order a Bloody Mary.
Comical.
With extra Mary is what they say. Hey, I'd like a Bloody Mary with extra Mary, please. Chicago. I don't know, Chicago.
I would go for a Moscow cocktail, probably. Something like that.
I'll allow it. Yeah. I'll allow it. Perfect. So you hang out. You watch the big old hulking man sort of almost mysteriously kind of fades back into the crowd despite his size. He's just kind of gone. And you wait for about 20 minutes. You're listening and hearing, and at this point, I think your taxi pulls up. You guys arrive. You all get out. No werewolves, but you notice that the club itself, the little red line thing is up, as though they're not letting more people in right now. There's a pretty big line out the front of the door, and the bouncer is not a big guy, maybe like just under 6 feet, 5'9". He's got a shaved head. He's wearing a leather jacket, and he's got like a little like security shirt underneath it. He's like, "Sorry, everybody, we're full up for the night. Can't let anybody else in until someone leaves. And let me tell you, with that beat, no one's leaving tonight. So you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here." And he's just trying to shoot people away.
Cool. Going straight up to him.
Good. Hey, how you doing, bud? So yeah, sorry, club's at max capacity. You know, fire marshal codes. Can't let anybody else in tonight.
We're expected. Did Duncan, one of Duncan's guys, talk to you?
Looks at his sheet. Name?
Peter Obertus.
Peter Obertus. Permanently banned from club. Yeah, you're not allowed in here. See, it says right here. Guy's a dick. There's nothing written there. He's just fucking with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna look him in the eye. Does he look like he's a vampire or not?
He does not.
I'm gonna look in the eye and just say, "Let us in," and compel him to do so.
And as he looks at you, he goes, "Oh yeah, there you are. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, you and the other two weirdos. Go ahead, pop in there. Enjoy your night. Have fun." Bunch of people out line like, "What the fuck? He just said let us in," and they start getting angry and yelling. And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! They were on the list, okay? They were on the list." And you guys are let inside. Cool vampire powers.
Oh yeah.
GM tries to throw a wrench. You're like, "Vampire this, DM." I'm like, "That's fair. I respect that. That was amazing. I love it." All right, so you head inside. Same scene, pulsing music. Quick scan of the crowd. You guys do notice. You do notice Adam over at the sort of right bar that is a little bit farther forward, kind of near the entrance. You can see him, and you would actually see them come in as well. Because let me tell you, Bertie, Theodore, and Peter stand out like a sore thumb in this place.
Yeah. I just sort of wave at them.
So we just for my own context. So Adam's got like a nice pinstripe suit on and a shirt and tie.
No, he's fully black suit with Adam.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Theo has got like trench coat and Victorian ruff and top hat.
I've not got a trench coat on anymore. I've replaced the trench coat with a with a more ergonomic cape.
Okay.
Top
An
hat is
ergonomic
like-
cape.
Ergonomic.
Your werewolf hunting thing is something that a werewolf could grab onto and drag you to the ground. Terrible.
It's perfectly designed to avoid werewolf hands, or so he was told when he bought it.
Yeah.
And he's wearing one of those like those 16th century top hats that don't have a brim and like a big ruff.
Okay.
And what's Peter got on? I can't remember. Peter's got
He's got a flat cap on, and he's wearing full tweed. Otherwise,
fantastic. And Bertie's got a pair of mucky corduroy trousers and a sort of dirty green woolen knitted.
We all fit in this club so
yeah,
well.
hell yeah.
I mean, the only one that can
Cardigan.
probably get away with it is probably you, Adam. You're the only one that can
Yeah,
probably get away with
yes,
it. Let's be
normally.
real.
Relatively.
That is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, club music pumping. It almost sounds like to the untrained ear that it's the same song on repeat, but there are subtle differences. There are subtle unces and dunces that are slightly different, but we're not here to talk about that. We're to talk about what you guys want to do with the situation. Continue.
I think Bertie at spotting Adam will go, "Oh, there he is!"
Fuck is he doing?
Fantastic.
Just sitting there fucking waving at us.
This music's bloody awful. Where's the DJ?
All
I
the
think
way
it's
at the
that
back
chap
of the
over
club.
there.
Yeah.
Excellent. Is he in the same direction as Adam?
No. So I want you to imagine a rectangle. Okay.
Yep.
You guys came in at the bottom of the rectangle. Adam was directly to the right. Duncan and his crew were down the right wall, near the top of the rectangle. And the DJ is on the left-hand back wall of the same rectangle. Does that make sense? Does everybody have an image in their mind of where everybody is?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Do you want to go check on him, make sure he's all right, and I'll sort out this bloody racket?
Yeah, go on.
Will do. See if you can find Rodney.
Rodney? Oh, Rodney Calhoun. Yeah, my bad. I don't know what Rodney Calhoun looks like, but yeah, I'll ask around. I'll ask around.
Yeah.
So as I'm like working my way through the crowd, like hands quite high, so I don't have to touch people, and just like occasionally shouting in people's ears, "Do you know Rodney?"
Yeah, this music is righteous. Yeah, woo, woo.
Bloody hell!
You want to rod me? Yeah. All right. Same guy with the fishnet starts gyrating on you. It's a whole thing.
Jesus
Good
Christ.
God, man! Rodney!
Woo! Doons, oons, oons, oons. You're not getting anywhere, Theodore. I'm sorry.
Perfect.
We're trying.
That's exactly how I hoped that would go.
But, yeah. A lot of misinterpreted signals and a lot of awkward touching. So, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Bertie will beeline over to where Adam is. And,
Morning, Mr. Birdie. Do you want a drink?
oh, hi, Adam. Did you find Rodney?
No, but I put that corner over there with the people in the suits. Looks like the best bet. There was a big guy that stopped me from talking, but you know,
Oh, he might know.
yeah, he's scary. The big guy. Don't make any weird movements with him. Would I know that he's a bruiser? Because that's pretty much what he is, right? I think.
Which one?
The bodyguard, the big guy.
So you don't know because you
Okay, yeah,
failed your check.
That makes sense.
You are
yeah.
not sure.
Yeah. I kind of smell some kindred half werewolf stuff, but try not to piss him off at least. I think maybe the guy that actually owns the club is also there. So Peter, actually, where's Peter right now?
I'll be following.
Yeah. Peter walked up
yeah.
to you and said, "What are you doing? Just fucking sitting there doing shit?" And you kind of just pivoted that, which I think is funny.
Yeah, he might be the guy that actually owns the place. So, yeah.
I think Bertie would do that awkward thing where somebody stands on their tiptoes just to get like 2 inches higher to see over the crowd. Oh, I can't see him. Shall I go and see if he's there?
I'm probably gonna take Peter and the birdie there, at least. Yeah.
You're gonna
Peter
walk
has-
back in the direction. Go ahead, Peter. Sorry.
Peter's got perfect vision in darkness, so he'll probably get a better look than most.
Oh yeah, you
people.
look over and you can see. What's interesting is like I want you to imagine that sort of like dark vision as it's described in like Dungeons and Dragons, where it's not like you're seeing in daylight. You're seeing everything in black and white and kind of like gray tones, and you can sort of like switch it on and off, right? So you kind of switch it on and you can look out and you see this crowd of undulating people, and all of the humans are kind of a darker shade of gray, because they're warm, and then all of the vampires are a lighter shade of gray. And what is interesting is that almost moving through the crowd like a specter, so he'll be here, so say at the top right of the crowd, and then suddenly he just almost just serpentines over to the middle of the crowd, and then back over here. It's almost like he's kind of like bouncing around like a pinball would. During... Who do we lose?
Yeah, Steven.
Unfortunate.
Right.
It's okay. But it's almost like he's pinballing around to different locations. Is a massive hulk of a man, the same man that I described to Steven, to Adam, excuse me.
Okay.
He is a mixture of those two colors.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna work on the theory that he looks like he's patrolling.
Absolutely.
And I will. I will just try and steer us around him.
I'm going to have you make a check for that, because I think that would be interesting. And while you're doing that, I'm going to quickly rotate all the people's faces where they need to go. Always fun.
Sorry, my PC just...
Oh, dude, you're good, man. Don't worry about it. This is the worst thing that happens to us. I'd say we're doing all right.
What would you say?
What would be a DerWolf?
Streetwise?
Yeah, I would say streetwise on this. Yeah, and wits, 100%. Difficulty on this is actually going to be a 4.
Wow, I can't pass that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good at what he does.
Let's do it anyway.
Try. You get exploding dice.
I could. Difficulty 4. I do not.
Oh, so close. So close. Oh, that was... I don't like that. So you are meandering your way through the crowd trying to kind of watch him. And in a similar sort of scene as to what transpired to when Adam was here by himself, we watch as you get close to that bar section where you can actually see Duncan. You can see that he is now standing alone, or sitting, I should say, at one of the bar stools alone, and there's no one else. Those 4 other individuals that were with him have departed off into, well, God only knows where they've gone. But the man, the large man, smelling faintly of wet dog and a bit of kindred, appears before you. I have told you once already. You will leave, or I will make you leave. I did not ask you to go get more of your out-of-place friends. You have, and he specifically looks at Peter, you have what you came for. You must now go.
So I definitely saw Duncan.
100%.
Yeah, cool.
He's not trying to hide. He's actually looking over, watching this exchange with not worry, but an intensity. There's an intense interest in this exchange to see what happens.
Cool. That's all I needed here. So I will put one arm over Adam's shoulder and go, right you are, mate. And I will start leading them away.
And Peter start leaving. Theodore is, I want you to imagine that scene from The Simpsons where it's like where was it? Is it Grandpa that goes to like a pride parade and like it's all the people like gyrating? He's just like, That's Theodore surrounded by like goth nightclub goers, and yeah, it's just he's having a rough time. Someone's got to grab him, and you may do so to get him out of there.
Have I made it any closer to the DJ yet?
I'm gonna grab Theodore before.
You are just about to get to the DJ. You're close enough to make a song recommendation if you want to try.
Does he smell human?
He absolutely does.
Excellent. I'm gonna attempt to dominate him, whilst shouting as loud as I can.
I mean,
so
he's a human. You can do what you want. Like,
put on rhythmic 8, da da da.
And he like looks down and he goes, "Yeah, all right." And he puts on rhythmic unsha da da da, which I don't even know what that sounds like. But if you want to give us a quick rendition, Harry, in your best unsha voice, I'd really like to know what it sounds like.
I've never heard it before, to be honest.
Okay.
I've just looked up. Oh, yeah. What is this?
Rhythmic unsha. You know what? It's instead of dark gothic, it's like upbeat, happy, like house techno. And like the whole crowd that's been undulating and gyrating kind of stops. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Oh. And Theodore can just like do.
It's like a 1920s ragtime tune.
Oh, really?
God, this is so bad.
You know what? It plays for like 30 seconds until someone comes up and like smacks him in the back of the head. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And the unsha goes back on. Classic.
Let's get out of here.
Fucking mush after a night of playing to vampires. All of them, like half of them, could do this.
Oh my god.
Dominating him to request songs.
Poor dude.
That dude's gonna be super messed up. Mother of God. All right, you guys exit out. You exit out, and as you exit out, you notice the street empty. Line of people gone. Security guard gone. No cars, nothing. What is perhaps slightly even more disconcerting is that as you step out, all the street lights flicker and go out. For those that can see in the dark, you don't see anybody readily, but there is no unnatural light. There is no electrical light around in the area. You look left, you look right, you look across the street at the park I had mentioned last session. Darkness.
Did the same thing happen when the ghouls, not ghouls, were hanging around?
Got it, brother.
Oh.
And as if on
Christ's sake.
As if on cue, There's a crack of thunder. A steady drizzle of rain starts to fall.
Here we go again. Jesus.
Did anybody bring the stapler?
I don't have one in my suitcase, unfortunately.
Bertie produces one from his cardigan pocket.
Wait. This ain't our problem. If they're fucking on with Duncan's shit, that's Duncan's problem.
Yes, but they may be fucking with the guy that we need to look for.
Or they may be here for us.
That is a possibility as well.
If they ain't here for us, we let them do it. I say. Half a battle is information. Yeah. If we can see what they're doing, we can stop it next time they try on us.
I would like to waggle the stapler, and then I'll give you a rouse check to use a skill called Premonition. Vampire experiences flashes of insight, which may take the form of raised hackles, sudden inspiration, or vivid visions. Never too precise, but they nudge the vampire out of harm's way or reveal the truth that was previously overlooked.
I love that you have that ability, and I encourage you to use it right now. That's amazing.
Damn it.
Ooh.
Oh, it happens anyway. You just lose hunger.
So here's what you see. There's a flash, and instead of standing where you're at, it almost feels like you're maybe a bird, like sitting on top of one of those light posts. And you see this in flashes, like a scene from a movie where you see people standing, screen flickers, they're forward, screen flickers, they're forward. You see a group of 3 hunched over, cloaked individuals form a semicircle just outside of the door. You then hear this chanting, this ancient, kind of rhythmic Ule dum dash gondeo umne don lash onsteo unde don lash onsteo, and you hear this over and over and over. And the final scene of your premonition is you just see a trickle of blood, like a pool of blood forming out from the front entrance of the club, and you hear just a second of blood-curdling screams from inside. And then you come back to reality. You're starting to get very wet. It's raining, and you're... Yeah.
Bertie will pull his cardigan a little bit tighter and go, we should either get very far away or go inside. One might be painful, but I can't remember which.
Wait, what did you see exactly? No, that's like a PC.
Player question?
No, not player question. The PC question. Character question.
You guys saw his eyes roll in the back of his head, kind of did that weird, I'm having a vision moment, and then he came back too.
Well, there's a lot of blood in there, and it's coming out of the door, and those weird guys that were stood in the garden out front, they're back again.
Doesn't seem like our problem then.
Unfortunately, I do not see as our problem.
I can't imagine those little whelps causing anyone to bleed.
I mean, you did see them doing apparently weather magic. Everyone. Yeah. You don't really see that every day.
You guys let me know, are you fucking off? Or are you sticking around? You tell me.
I think once the other 3 have said it's not their problem, I think Bertie will kind of go, oh well.
Yeah.
Should we get a taxi then?
Yeah. Well, probably not here. Let's go to slightly farther to get the taxi.
It may not be our problem, but we may be able to get that Duncan chap in our pocket if we were to give him the old heads up.
You're not wrong, Theo.
Maybe he's not our pocket, but at least make him stop thinking you're such a dickhead.
Always a favor, at least.
Such a dickhead.
Yeah,
How many entrances does this place have? Is it just the one?
There's a back entrance. There's the main front entrance, which is just like a door in the side of a warehouse. I mean, you're vampires. You could probably like climb a wall, go in through a window. Like imagine like a big warehouse, 60 feet tall. There's like those like big windows at the top that they can open up to like let in airflow. You've got lots of options to get in if you want.
I will just. I assume we've kind of just opened the door, kind of walked outside and done this. Like
Correct.
the door hasn't
Absolutely.
locked behind us.
Correct.
I will turn around. I'll go back in. And
You could just call him. You don't need to go in.
I don't have a phone.
I
I will.
And he goes in, it's just Adam stood outside going, you could have borrowed my phone.
Yeah, but seriously, I literally could have handed you.
I will kind of look for the big guy as he's doing his rounds.
Yeah.
I'll intercept him.
Yeah, what's interesting as you walk back in is the music. The music has stopped. And everyone inside is just standing straight up, somewhat rigid, and swaying back and forth ever so slightly. There is a monotone kind of like ringing. I want you to imagine the sound like if you've ever heard like those big gongs at like monasteries, like monks.
Yep.
It's just like the resonating sort of like after effect of someone hitting that. You just can barely hear it like on the lowest frequency. And yeah, what do you do?
Interesting. Peter's an old man. He hasn't got to be an old man from staying in weird situations. So he opens the door, walks in, and he will just turn around and walk back out.
Yeah, you go in, you take a left, you look inside, see the scene, turn around, come back out. Perfect.
Goes to hang his hat up and goes,
didn't
nope,
work.
puts it back down and walks back out.
Like the Simpsons grandpa in the strip club.
Yeah.
Just before this
Back in
kicks
the
off,
bush.
I need to go hug some babies. It's been
do
2
your thing,
minutes.
man. Do your thing.
So, what was it, Mr. Peter? Were you not able to talk to him?
No. There's some weird shit going on. We need to be out of here, I think.
After that, I guessing that we're just gonna go outside the area radius.
As we kind of turn to leave, I will stop and I'll put a hand on his chest and go, "Where's the fucking slab? Where's your briefcase? Is it?
I told
Did you leave
in
it
the
at the fucking
phone.
club?
No, I left it in the fucking apartment. I told you over the phone.
You see, you left your fucking medicine in the fucking cabinet.
Not in cabinet, in my room. It's in a safe. There. What do you? My car had C4 attached to it. I didn't think it was safe to get it into the club.
Madness.
Bertie looks sheepish.
Fucking madness.
What, you wanted me to get it on the bus and take it with me on the club in the
We
club?
thought you had it with you.
I told
he
you over
fucking
the
asked you.
phone where I left it, Mr. Peters. I literally told you, oh, I left it at the apartment.
No. You said you left your tablets in your room.
That is not what I have said. As Bertie again to translate it badly.
Well,
As I
words
sort
about
of
to
give a look on Bertie.
And as the three of you are arguing, and Theodore is just humming to himself an old 1920s ditty, as it were, there is a ominous crash of thunder, ominous flash of lightning, and all four of you would see across the street in the park the beginning of what Bertie's vision was. Three cloaked figures.
I will
little bit
immediately
closer.
grab the two nearest people. Go, time to go, and just start running. If they come with me, then fine. If they don't, run.
Yeah.
Be
The
it
two
Bertie's
nearest
running.
people.
Theodore just stands there, just like do 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 do. No, I'm assuming
No
Theodore would
clips
run
off.
as well.
No, I'm assuming that we are all going when
Yeah.
we see
You
them.
all take off running down the down the road. If you look back over your shoulders, you see these 3 individuals move in. You can just barely at the, like, kind of the distant radius of your hearing, you can barely hear them start to chant. And then you just hear the faintest scream, then another, then another, then another, then another, then another. And then it's just like that entire building is vibrating from just blood-curdling screams of agony. And you guys run around a corner, get far enough to where you can't hear it. But, yeah. Where to next, boys?
The apartments, probably.
Have we valiantly run away?
He did
Yes.
valiantly run away.
Okay.
Whereabouts is the nightclub? I'm trying to work out.
Yeah.
Oh, the
So
nightclub.
it was by, if I remember correctly, Logan Square. And you guys got about a 15-minute drive back down to Long Life Apartments. You guys, there's no Ubers, but you can catch a taxi. Which you do.
If we know where these devious chanters are, do we not want to stop this from happening?
We already left.
Maybe you don't get a
am
taxi.
running.
You tell me, guys. You tell
Yeah.
me. Do you get a taxi? Are you hanging out? You leaving?
I mean, we could see the aftermath by this point. I don't think we can do anything to really stop it right now.
I mean, I just said that I was running because I just
Yeah, we were
saw
all.
the flashes of light and I was like, nope, I've seen this before. I'm running.
Yeah.
Where were the chanting ghouls?
So
They
the
come out of the park.
cloaked
into the,
figures,
towards the
they
pub.
walk out of the park. They almost seem to kind of phase through the gates, like the grating, the fence. They appear. They begin their chant. You see these weird, long, kind of fingered, like outstretched, like fingered hands, and they said their chant. Or this, you can, if you want to watch from around a corner, I can describe the whole scene to you. It's up to you guys. Okay. You watch them do this. You hear the
I
scream.
kind of want to intervene.
And do you want to?
You want to?
Yeah. They've got big long claws, you say?
Yeah.
Do they look remotely like werewolves? Like, if one was a complete idiot, could they think they were werewolves?
No. They look like weird, hunched over, cloaked figures.
Fair enough.
If you've seen the village, that's what they look like.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe it.
Three
Prior
very
to
good
them,
questions.
prior to the monster, like they look like the scary part of the monster before they actually reveal what they look like. Like when they were actually scary, because once you see them, you're like, that's horrible costuming. But it's like when you only had like flashes of them, that's what they look like.
Cool. In that case, then, as is traditional, I will just hoy whatever the closest thing is at them, and then run towards them.
So, interestingly enough, I'm glad that you did that. So you take off as they're beginning their chant. You start to hear the screams, because that's already been established. And as you do so, the one that's closest to you, so imagine one is standing directly from the door, the other two come off at a 45-degree angle, and they sort of create like a diamond. If the door is the top of the diamond, the one that's farthest away from it is that, and then they create this. So it's like two triangles on top of each other, like a diamond, right? And the one that is on the right-hand side, closest to the direction you guys ran to, he's a little bit closer to the door. He simply looks to you, Theodore. And as he looks to you, I'm going to need you to give me a resolve check. Because you hear a voice that sounds like the literal voice of God. And being a practitioner of the dark arts yourself from times to time, you instantaneously recognize some sort of very powerful and very potent magic. Not blood magic, but some sort of magic. And you feel almost completely like you are out of control of your own faculties. But we're going to see if you can resist the influence. This is a difficulty of 4.
Jesus.
Dear, oh dear. I don't suppose it's resolve and intelligence, is it?
Actually, it's going to be a willpower check. That's what I need you to make. Willpower is what it would be.
Not that one.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Which I believe that's how that works, if I remember correctly.
How many dice do I roll?
Hold on, what? No, not willpower. Here's what I'm trying to do, Jamie, and I need your help here. I'm having a rules issue, and I apologize for taking you out of the action. But basically, I want him to try to resist some sort of compulsion effect. What?
So
would it be resolved then?
So if it was specifically a dominate, which is the one page that I've got open,
yes,
it would be intelligence and resolve.
Okay, it is intelligence resolve. Perfect. Yes, intelligence resolve. Perfect. So I was on the right track. I had looked this up the other day in case this happened. I thought that's what it was, and then I saw willpower, and I started to think D&D, and I was like, oh god, I'm mixing my games. My bad. Thank you very much for your help. Continue.
You say 4.
Difficulty of 4, yes.
Oh.
Can I use willpower to re-roll failed things, or am I getting my games mixed up?
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
How on earth does that work?
So you take 1 point of superficial willpower damage, and then I don't know. I don't know how you mechanically do it.
I guess you just re-roll it afterwards.
No.
No?
Slash
There'd be a
R.
specific way of doing it because you nominate specific dice to reroll.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be re-rolling those ones. I can just do slash R 4d10 and we'll
Yeah.
work out
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Instead of trying to get into the nitty-gritty of how this character sheet works.
Oh!
That's one more!
Oh my god!
Oh!
Gosh.
2 more
What?
successes. That's 3 more successes.
What? What?
Oh.
So we watch as you are rushing forward with your stapler, and this creature turns towards you, and it simply says, in actually a surprisingly, like, you can hear it as you, like, resist it, its influence. You can hear this, Uxte onda sho, and then you hear this more female voice. Reacher of the night. You have no power here. Those of the Wiccan, they control you. They are your masters now. And you think to yourself, yeah, those are the Wiccan. That sounds pretty good. Wait, fuck that shit. And you huck your stapler at it. Just fucking huck your stapler at it. All right. You just huck your... I'm going to have you give me, you know what? Give me a brawl. Give me a brawl check.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Roll check, Jesus.
Yeah.
This is
Brawl dexterity.
not good.
Is that? Can you do that? Brawl dexterity? That's what I want. Yeah.
That's all. I'm a wizard.
That was
I can't
amazing,
do it.
by the way, that you succeeded that, because shit was about to get real fucked up for you, dude. That was fucking dope as fuck, by the way. Like, what a comeback.
Oh.
So you huck your stapler. You just huck it, right? And it just goes whoosh, and goes right past. But you can see the cloaked figure, and as the cloaked figure, as you resist this influence, you look at it and you no longer see this large kind of like ghoulish cloaked figure. Instead, now what you see is a woman with blondish hair. She has green kind of hazel eyes, and she is wearing a cross, but it's not like a cross. It's like a circle, like with like a sort of like a star on it kind of thing. Like the little like circle kind of looks like a cross thing, if you know what I mean. Think like Templar, the Knights Templar kind of style. And she looks at you and then seems to realize that you have resisted her influence. And as she does so, she turns to the others, and you simply hear her say, "Sisters, it is time for us to go." And she pivots, and there is this sort of like foggy mist that swirls around them. And as you perhaps run into the middle or get closer, they are gone. Just gone. And you have no idea where they went. You're going to have a lot, Bertie, to add to your board, by the way. You're going to have a lot to add to your board. Yikes. But from inside, now that you've mostly stopped this, you just hear a lot of screaming and, like, terror. And you see, like, several people, like, partially covered in blood come running out. You know, some of the, like, goth goers and some of the club goers, they come out, and they're just panicked, eyes wide, like they've just seen a massacre. You're a madman, Theo, by the way. Every session, you do something insane, and it actually works out for you, and I don't know how.
It actually works.
I don't understand.
Mr. Theodore has plot armor.
It's my wizard powers. Unfortunately, I've got no physical skills whatsoever. So has the music come back on?
No. There's just a lot of like crying and screaming from inside.
I'll shout back to the rest of the boys. Boys, I've got rid of them. Weren't ghouls, bunch of bloody witches.
Huh. That's
We should probably go check on Duncan. I know he's a prick, but he's probably a bit more amenable to us now.
All right. We're coming.
I guess we're going down.
And as you guys go back into the club, you can see that there are probably around 30 or 40 vampires. Let's say 35. That are mostly covered in gore. But you can see that they are grabbing people prior to them like heading to the entrance. And they're in the process of dominating / if you want to call it glamoring people. Be like, you saw nothing. It was all part of the act. Like, don't worry about it. And like, they're doing it. And in the middle of it, the whole thing, you see Duncan, who is just looking around, and even he himself has blood and is just looking down and just looks furious. Absolutely furious. And you see him look over at that hulking man that was next to him, and he looks to him and he says, "You will find whatever fucking find who did this and bring me their heads. Bring their heads attached so that I may remove them." And he is just furious. Absolutely furious. But he sees you guys, and surprisingly enough, he doesn't, like, throw his anger at you. He almost looks at you, doesn't seem to register it, and looks away, and continues giving orders to his men and women to, grab over there, get all the humans, make sure they forget this. We have to clean this up. Even though there's Sabat, he understands. You know that he would understand that if this was to get out, this would completely fuck everything he's got going for him, right? So they're in the process of trying to, in their own way, uphold the masquerade, right? But continue, my friends. What would you like to do?
Cool. As I see the big guy's going to just kind of start rushing out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will kind of step in front and try and waylay him.
Mm-hmm.
And I will, all right, mate, got a tip for you. And I will describe the scene as Theo described it to us.
Are you 100% certain this is what you have seen?
Absolutely. I'll stake my blood mage's life on it.
And Bertie will just point to his notepad.
You should speak with Duncan. He will wish to know this. Which way did they go?
Which way was it, Theo?
They're bloody witches, aren't they? Conjured up a big cloud of fog and just buggered off.
Bertie will spin, turn around on his heel, when you can just sort of spin around quickly and just go in the mist.
That one is not all up there, is he?
Oh God, no.
No. We should be so lucky.
We have an idiot too. No problem. And he's gonna bugger off.
Is the DJ still behind the turntables?
The DJ unfortunately is slumped over the DJ booth and looks like he had his throat ripped out. So I want you to imagine that there is a mixture of torn apart and exsanguinated humans all over the floor, about half and half. It looks like these witches, what they were maybe trying to do is to send everyone into a blood frenzy, and it half worked. And had you not intervened, this entire club would have been a bloody nightmare. So yeah.
There was a part of Peter as I was walking away, kind of trying to work out what the property price would be on this place after the everything went wrong.
You'd probably get a pretty good discount actually.
Yeah. Oh well.
I'll reach into the booth and I'll put the rhythmic 8 back on, but at a sensible volume.
Oh, as people are picking up all the dead bodies, it's that's so fucked up. You're a goddamn monster.
What happened?
Kind of love
Much
it.
better. I'll put the good music back on.
Yeah, good music. All right. Did I fix everybody? Yeah, we're back to where we need to be. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, so you walk over, and Duncan has returned to the bar and has reached over and grabbed a bottle of, I don't know, virgin blood? Sure, that's what vampires are into. And he's pouring himself a shot and knocks it back. And as you approach Peter, he looks over, and he is very short. All I need to know is, did you have anything to do with this, Peter?
In as much as we were nearly hit by the same guys. But that's it. Seems like they're targeting a bunch of people. Might just be Sabat, might be everyone. My blood mage doesn't think they're you don't think they're kindred, right?
No, I got the impression these were humans.
So you're
Called
telling
us
me
wicked.
that in the city of Chicago, we have Hakata feeding upon our children. Now we have witches. We have mangy werewolves running rampant and going into places they should not go. Fucking hate this city. I hate this country.
Don't rain but it pours, eh?
Well, was there something in particular you wish to give to me? Speak about. Discuss, Peter.
Your life?
Just a quick one out of character.
Huh?
Is the blood that's on the floor like normal blood?
It is. Great question. Very insightful. Yep. Just normal blood.
None of it smells of coffee.
We gave the details to your bodyguard.
Bjorn?
Yeah. He'll sniff them out, I suppose. But in the spirit of, Sabat, spirit of family, my territory is your territory until you can get yourself back on your feet. You need anything, you can call on me.
He mulls that over for a
But
moment.
he'll peer around and go, but he doesn't have a phone.
He'll mull that over for a second. And there's actually a small smirk from him when you say he doesn't have a phone. Peter, our previous interactions have been tense at best. But if I'm to understand, you mentioned that these same, and he looks to Theo, witches, they attempted to do something similar to you in your territory. The question I have is,
they didn't get much past.
Why? What are they hoping to accomplish other than blood?
Well, yeah. Perhaps we'll find out. All our resources, we'll be able to get an answer quicker then.
They didn't say a great deal, but the impression I got was just that they were after blood. They called us the wicked. Said that we were to be judged.
If I had a nickel every time I heard someone say I was wicked and to be judged, I wouldn't be living in Chicago.
You'd have a lot of nickels.
One of them also said ouch when we hit him with a stapler.
He did.
Yeah.
She did, it turns out. Yeah.
I am making a proposal. That is to say, I suggest a proposal. We form a temporary alliance between my house and yours, Peter. We work together until we uncover who these witches are and what they are trying to do. My only request is that when we do find them, I get the first bite.
Deal.
But it's
And,
an apartment.
Birdie, please.
You may add a new contact by way of Duncan, your character sheets. Or I would probably say not even the character sheet, probably add that to the coterie. You guys have a pretty good contact. I'd say it's probably like a 2-point contact because he's pretty high up. And you may leverage that as the story progresses for information or support. Specifically, whenever you guys are acting in the region and in the area of Logan Square, Lakeview, and Lincoln Park. So this is kind of that like rectangular like area that I-90 goes through, which is north of you guys. Any actions you take place in there, you may leverage him and his resources to make things easier for you as the story progresses. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's a huge win for you guys. By the way, I want to just compliment Harry.
Okay.
That could have gone two different ways. That could have gone really poorly. Like that was fucking dope that you turned around, man.
Hey,
That was awesome.
If Theodore doesn't nearly die in every single session,
Have we really played?
something's
Have
gone
we really
wrong.
played
Something's
Vampire?
wrong,
Like, have we
yeah.
really done it? That's fantastic. So you guys will pool your resources, and right now he doesn't have any information, as far as that goes. But you still have Duncan, who you've come to discover is the leader of, or the owner of this establishment, and you still have the questions about this woman, right? So you've got direct access to, I mean, the head honcho. If you guys want to, not to tell you what to do, but if you guys want to ask him some questions, you've established at least a temporary truce. Take it away.
I do
I
believe
think
that's why we
Bertie would
came
like.
here.
I think Bertie would like tug on Peter's sleeve and like, we should ask about the questions. The questions in the notebook.
All right. Duncan. Got a question. Might not be related. Might be. One of yours. I had one of the young bloods come to me seeking sanctuary. I granted it. Says she was bit by one of yours. Doesn't know who. Wants to find out.
She looked like.
I'll describe her.
I think I know who you are talking about. Soft-spoken woman. She
Yeah.
frequented here for many months. For some reason she seemed drawn to this place, yet no one would feed upon her. Almost as though they were driven away. I will need to do some digging to find out who burned her.
Yeah. Name her Chloe Smith.
Chloe Smith.
Bad child.
Chloe Smith. Understood. I will do some asking. If you find out anything, call my secretary. I will tell her not to avoid your calls.
Perfect.
Very good. I like that. Chloe Smith. Look at this guy being sassy. Look at you over there. Being all secretive. Never get, you know what? Never show your whole hand. Never show the whole hand. Never do it. Can't do it. I like that. Where would you guys like to go to next? Do you have any other questions for Duncan? Do you want to help kind of clean up the scene? What's the plan?
I think Bertie would ask Peter like, can I ask about Rodney?
Go for it. I'm going to help stack some bodies.
Yeah, I'm also gonna help stack some bodies.
Bertie would pull out his notepad and be like, do you know Rodney Calhoun? Do you know this Rodney Calhoun?
Hey,
Do you know that Rodney Calhoun? LD, which Rodney Calhoun?
You have 3 of the same name written in your notebook.
Yes, Rodney Calhoun. Which
I know
one do you know?
One Rodney Calhoun. He was a former manager of this establishment. Recently fired him due to a disagreement in... Let's just call it a disagreement.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Did you know where he went? Where does he live?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't keep track of each and every one of the humans that work under me.
What about payroll?
You can speak to my secretary if you so desire.
Great.
Do you
What's
have
her
an
name?
HR department?
Her name is Betty. She's
Oh.
a vampire. She's like 200 years old. She's like, I want you to imagine like the atypical, like works at a library, the glasses thing, chain around her neck, like bright red lipstick, like just like classic, like big hair, red, like
The
just
librarian
a
style.
librarian vibe, like strong but like old. She got turned when she was like 65, so she's just constantly crotchety. Mr. Birdie.
Bertie will look up at the office and go, "Does she work in there?"
Yes, and you may go track her down, Birdie, and she will give you the address on the payroll of where Mr. Rodney Calhoun lives. And Rodney Calhoun actually lives not too far away, but he lives over off of 43 in Oak Park, which is to the west, so southwest of your present location.
Okay. He'll also ask for like his, I don't know, national
I
insurance number
apologize, I didn't move
equivalent.
you guys over there. Say again, sorry.
He'll ask for like his equivalent of whatever a national insurance number is, and like your tax number or whatever it is.
Social
You
security
want his social security number?
Yeah, like
I don't think
I'm
every
sorry,
bit of
Mr.
detail.
Birdie, but I can't hand out personal information like that.
You're a vampire that owns a creepy gothic dungeon club. I can't give you his personal info.
That would be
a
illegal.
crime.
I will give you a I'll give you a subterfuge and charisma roll. No, it's fine. I recognise his name. I saw it once on this TV program. It was really interesting. Apparently, he knows this other guy who knew this chap who used to run a taxi firm near us.
Oh my god. I appreciate. I didn't even intend that to be funny, but it was funny as I look back. She's like, I can't give you that personal information. You're a vampire.
That's not even a bluff. That you've literally just described how you know him.
You know what? Go ahead, roll the check. We're gonna make this a difficulty 3. Go ahead and roll it.
Difficulty 3.
Yeah. She's very firm in her belief in the Privacy Act.
Yeah, she might get struck off.
Yeah.
There's a job security on the line.
All I'm saying.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
no. Have we succeeded in any roll besides the one we rolled?
Not today. It's not been a good.
Yeah, you
good
could
session.
try to what? Use willpower to reroll?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you get your willpower back at the end of a session, don't
1,
you?
2, 3.
You get a willpower back when you wake up, I think.
Ah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or is it 4, isn't it?
You can reroll
Yes.
3 dice maximum. Sorry, I looked it up. Just gone
Please,
afterwards.
thank you.
I was
Yeah.
curious.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. And she goes, you know, you remind me of my son. All right. Here's his social, his date of birth, most resident address, his blood type. I also have his most recent medical records. And, oh, just look at you. You are the cutest. I'll just give you a little squeeze on the cheek, you know.
Oh.
So you have all the information you need.
You
Probably
just
more
got
than you need.
doxxed. Jesus Christ.
Bertie loves old people. Like part of his conviction is he loves old people.
And they
so
love
he's
him.
like, thank you, Betty. That's most helpful of you. You know, I wish more people could be helpful like you. Sometimes they just get in the way sometimes. There's information out there. They should just pass out the information. People share information. People know more things. And he'll kind of just trail off.
You know
and
what
sort
I've
of walk
always
out of
said?
the door.
I've been on this earth for 250 years. I've always said just because we're creatures of the dark doesn't mean we have to have dark attitudes. Am I right?
You could always be a sunshine and not a cloud. That's what my nana used to say.
Well, your nana was a wise woman. Wise. Well, you have yourself a good day. Would you like a blood cookie? And she'll take out some blood cookies.
He would definitely take one.
They're pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. God.
This one's AB positive. This one's O negative. You have a preference. All right, we're getting in the weeds, boys. We're getting in the weeds. It's okay. We're having fun. It's good.
Stop, please.
Bertie will leave the office and walk down the stairs, putting his notebook back in his cardigan pocket and eating his cookie.
Brilliant.
And then
Absolutely
shout,
brilliant.
"We can go now, Peter."
Well, one second. And also, what do you have a cookie? We'll deal with that later. Um, Duncan,
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes, Peter.
what's the story here? What's the cover up?
Duncan is a man that you've dealt with, Peter, that does not often look like he doesn't have an answer. And he doesn't have an answer right now. Something that I was thinking about in this very moment. We have over 45 bodies here. 1 or 2 I can make disappear, but 45, that is a massacre. As far as the living, we can make them forget that this happened. But hiding that many, it will be a process. And he leans in. Do you have any suggestions, Peter?
So the first time I've had deal with something like this, the usual way of doing it, either a shooting or a fire. If it's a fire, you got to say goodbye to the club. If it's a shooting, you got a lot more work to do on the living.
He looks around at the building. I'm assuming you carry insurance for your apartment complex, do you not?
To what end?
Well, I have a very robust policy on this place. And he gives you a very vampire toothy smile.
Peter doesn't drink, whether it's this blood or anything, but he will pick up a glass and he will go to cheers him.
Cheers. And you'll see him kind of a little bit of a montage, like everybody, they like collect all the bodies, they like put them around, and then like you see a scene of like just gasoline being thrown everywhere, like lighter fluid, and they like, get ready to like burn the thing down, and they're like, it was a gas fire. And a scene later will be the underground night club in flames, and fire trucks and stuff showing up. And Duncan will have to move, but he's a sheriff. It's not his only club. It's just his favorite, and that's okay. He's got others. So before the fire happened, were there any other questions, any other scenes you guys wanted inside the club with Duncan or any other vampires present?
Can we leave the club?
What?
Can we leave the club before it catches
Oh
fire?
no, you're all dead. This is session. This is last session. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go up and smoke with it. Yeah, good game. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
But no, you guys you help him out. You have your 2-point connection now with Duncan of the Sabbat. Whenever you're in that region that he controls, you're welcome to, leverage him as you see fit, within reason. If you leverage it too much, you may get annoyed. But we're getting kind of near the end of today's session. A lot's happened. We've discovered a lot. Any final scenes with each other? Let's assume you guys, unless you have anything to do, return to Long Life Apartments. It's getting close to morning. So these first 3 sessions have kind of been all one night. At this point, having dealt with the club, stacking bodies, cleaning stuff up, glamoring people, dominating them, etc., like you've had a long night. So the sun is probably like an hour before it comes up. You're all getting pretty tired. Any final scenes, questions, comments, or concerns?
Checking my apartment for the tablet.
Still there.
Okay.
It's dry for once.
I put it back in my suitcase.
Damn it.
I mean, I kind of have, like, at the end, sort of morning, I kind of call Andrea. I haven't called her at all, so I will leave that for next time.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'd be too sleepy to start the drinking the tablet's blood ritual.
You know what? I think you've had enough weird blood in your system for the evening, as it were. Just as the game master and your friend, I think you're good. All right, I'm cutting you off. All right, cut off. There you go.
Stop drinking.
I'm gonna need a liter of blood from that tablet next week. I've got plans.
I don't know what it is, Harry. Do you just want this game to end like soon?
You want to die, Harry? What do you?
I want
What
to
are you
use.
doing?
I want to use some of my cool rituals. All I wanted to do was. God, I'm glad I caught myself there. I was going to say all I wanted to do was touch one of those women, which is technically
Christ.
true. So I could try and cast one of my blood ritual sorceries on them later.
Well, with that being said, it's been a great session, everybody. Now that I've been canceled, I want to say thanks to everybody that stopped in to watch today. But no, honestly, does anybody else have anything else they want to do, or you all just settle in for the day?
I am going to instruct my scribe onto working out exactly what the ownership is of that club.
Ooh. So you want to figure out? So Duncan obviously seems like he owns it. But you want to see if there's like a spider web that exists. Yeah. Okay.
I want to try and start piecing out his empire so I can see it, so that I can start maybe taking it apart.
I will give that information to you between now and next session. He's got a pretty decent empire. He owns like several buildings. Like he's like you in another like 100 years, if that makes sense. Like you've got your apartment, but he's got like blocks. Good. I like that. Ooh, you can start taking it apart. That is so Sabat of you. I love where your mind's at. You're such a Sabat, sassy devil, you bitch. All right, I love it. What about so Harry's got that. Bertie, anything you'd like to do, Bertie?
So I think Bertie would kind of say ta to everybody and would know of one of the random herd people that sort of lives in that block of flats that he would know has, I know he works the lunch and evening shift at a local restaurant or something, and like the last thing would be him texting Megan and saying, "Sorry, got caught up in some stuff that I had to deal with. I'll see you tomorrow," and then pick the lock and go inside and see sleeping person on bed.
And nom. You know what? I want you to roll me a D100. Megan texts back. Low, Megan doesn't text back.
Wow.
Holy hell.
It's almost like it's 5 in the morning.
All right. She texts back, and what you get back is 2 letters, lowercase, okay. And that, my friends, will be the last scene. Dun dun dun. I love it. Great session, everybody. I had a lot of fun.
Honestly,
that was actually really fun. That was really good.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm glad my internet held up.
My laptop didn't, so it's all right, man.
Super fun. And in the meantime, as I always said at the end of every session, any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns from the players before we get ready to wrap up today's session?
I think something really? we should probably try not to forget is that Peter found out that some of the Sabbat in the area where Duncan works is dealing with other species, but based on his reaction this evening, it is not Duncan. So there's someone else in his backyard.
Randy Calhoun still exists. Who knows? I mean, who knows?
He's apparently a human.
Apparently.
Or
we'll see what happens.
But
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Look at it. He froze. He's so shocked.
He actually froze at the perfect frame.
You really did. That's amazing. That was funny if you did. But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much to the players for playing. Truly, guys, without you, it's impossible. I want to give a special thanks also to Jamie again for helping out with the rule set. You are a master of these. I am running way too many different systems right now, so sometimes I forget. And I appreciate you helping and doing that, as well as everyone else just being cool and kind of rolling with it. And I really appreciated how you guys drove the story forward today. You did a great job. You've got a lot of blood trails to follow, and that was my hope over the first 2 sessions, and it really felt like I didn't really know where things were going to go, and it was fun to see what you guys did with it. And there's a whole city to explore, and empires to topple, and witches' covens to uncover, and weird Hakata shit going down. There's crazy shit happening.
Oh, we're gonna get to that Hakata shit. That's gonna be fucking.
Oh, hey, we're just scratching the surface, guys. We got some stuff to do, but thank you to the viewers for viewing. Happy gaming, everybody. You'll see these beautiful folks here next Tuesday, same game time, same game place. Until then, be well, be safe, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.